Hello everyone, welcome to the Totally Well Show. I'm your host, Joyce Strong. The Totally Well Show is a place where we get curious, ask questions, and explore everything to do with health, wellness, fitness, personal development, helping people in all the things it takes to help you live a strong, joyous life. My guest today is Maria Hars. Maria is a sustainable home designer, and we're going to tell you more about that. You can reach her at trueselfdesigns.com on her website. She's on LinkedIn and on Instagram at In Company of None. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So when we met, you told me you were from Groton. So let's hear a little bit of your connection to Groton, because it's so great to have somebody who hasn't been in this building before and graduated from a different high school.
Yeah, our family moved here in 1967. My father was the late Anthony Hars. He was an architect. Yeah. And we moved into his boss's home. James Lawrence was the Lawrence Homestead on Farmers Row. Yeah. And that was a beautiful home to grow up in.
Oh, sure.
And that taught me about architecture. And Olmsted was the landscape designer. He's a famous one who did Central Park and built more estates and everything like that. So that's where I learned about that. And also then my father built the contemporary at 46 Long Hill Road for our family. And going from an antique to a contemporary was an amazing experience. And so I grew up here, and I went to school at Groton Dunstable Regional High School, where the middle school is now. That was our high school. Graduated with 98 people in '84. The whole school had only 400 people in it, the high school.
Yeah.
So it was a little different times, but Groton is just a beautiful town, and it's still my home, even though I don't live here anymore.
And so you're just over the line, though, in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm in southern New Hampshire right now on that. So that's how I essentially learned about architecture. Yeah. Building blocks when I was a child were my favorite toys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would just build for hours, and with my dad. And in '72, when my father started his architectural business as self-employed, I was 6 years old, and he had the stack of envelopes to send out to everybody, and I sat there licking them, closing them, and putting the stamps on them. So I was my dad's helper back then.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a beautiful relationship and learned a lot from him, and just growing up in that beautiful environment.
He was my mentor for sure. I love you, Dad. So, yeah.
So you've taken what he did, and it's a connected, but it's different.
Yeah.
From what you told me. Can you help our audience learn a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah. My father was an architect. I'm not an architect. So he'd be rolling in his grave if I said I was. What I do is I help people redesign their homes, because a lot of people have enough space. Yeah. But they don't know it's how the space is used. It's not a functional space. So I can walk into a house and I can say, okay, and I talk to them. I do a consultation and I find out what they like and they don't like. And I can take that information and say, okay, let's say your southern exposure is here, but your window is all closed off. Let's put some windows here. Let's open up some walls. Let's, to help redesign it. So then people will love their home and they want to come home, because our homes are our biggest financial investment that we make in our lifetime. For, I'm going to say, most of us. And so that's what I do. But I also can help them with landscape design. I do gardening. I can also help with ADUs, which is accessory dwelling units. When I did a 6-month solo road trip a couple of years ago, I stayed at really cool tree houses and tiny homes on wheels and things like that. And people can have that for investment properties, or if they have an extended family, they have say their mother or father is going up in age, instead of putting them in a nursing home or assisted living, to have a small home in their yard that they can stay is going to actually increase their wellness. So I can help them with all that.
Oh, wow. That's a broad reach that you have in all the things that you're able to do.
Yeah.
When I met you, at first I was like, well, what is home design and this whole thing have to do with health? And then the more I thought about it, because, this is the Totally Well show, is it has everything to do with health. In the preamble when we were chatting, I was saying that your environment is going to help you feel a certain way, and that influences what part of the brain you're actually functioning from. So if you're in a cluttered space, can't find what you're looking for, you're inefficient, you're going to be more into the survival mode or more into the fight or flight, the amygdala part of your brain. Whereas if everything just looks pretty, and not just pretty, that's not exactly what I meant, but organized and looks pretty to you, looks like this meets my needs and I know where to find this, and I have more light, it's not dark, like, all those things. It's going to put you more in the pleasure center, and not like the addiction pleasure center, but more the pleasure center where we really want to live.
Exactly.
Same thing with the indoor or outdoor space.
Yeah, exactly. So when people are looking to buy a house, they should bring their compass with them. We have it all on our smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, bring a compass with you. And see how the house is laid out. See where all the windows are. And make sure, buy a house that has windows on the southern or southeast or southwest side. Because a lot of homes, people walk in and they're like, why is it so dark? There's all these windows. Because the windows are on the north side. Windows on the north side don't bring in that natural sunlight that we also crave in the wintertime when it's all cloudy.
Yeah.
So that helps. So when you walk into a house, houses that have natural sunlight actually have more value because people are happier with sunshine.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to do. And also, as we're talking about, is that people spend millions of, thousands of dollars a year on health. But at the same time, our homes and our buildings are making us sick. There's a lot of sick, they call it SBC, which is sick building syndrome.
Yes, I heard that before, yeah.
Yeah, so, I have chemical sensitivity, so if I walk into a paint store, within 5 minutes, my throat is burning. So I have to leave, and I get those headaches. And it's essentially when you walk into a space, and you have, and the new carpet smell, they call it the new car smell.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's poisonous gas.
That's off-gassing.
Yeah, it's off-gassing.
Yeah.
And you're breathing that in.
Yeah.
So you're breathing that in, your family's breathing that in, your dog and cat are breathing it in. So how good is that for you?
Yeah. I know. One time I was at a tire store, and there were just so many tires, and I realize anytime I'm, especially, or in a big, like a hardware store, there's just so many smells in there, and I can very quickly start to get a headache and not feel well.
That's another place. I can't go into a tire store.
Yeah, tire stores are tough. So tell me more about the potential toxins and reasons why, and how you can help alleviate that. That's a big topic for my audience, because we're into detoxification in general, right? So detoxifying from stress, and detoxifying from chemical exposure. So
yeah, exactly.
How can you help with that, and what do you run into?
Okay, I educate my clients. Okay. Because the bottom line is that not everyone knows that they want to be healthy, but they don't know how to be healthy.
Yeah.
Because you can go to a farm stand and you think you're buying, it's local, but they're full of pesticides. So asking questions is really important. There's organic farm stands and there's non-organic farm stands. So from a health point of view, you would probably want to go to the organic one, right?
Yeah.
So when I design a house, say I'm remodeling a kitchen, for example, and what I say is, like, I deal with products that are not just how they manufacture, which is good, but the products that are put into the houses are low to zero VOCs, and that they're not going to lead to the VOCs that are in like paint and things like that.
Can you define VOCs?
Volatile organic compounds.
Okay.
That's one of the for interior pollutions. That's one of the causes to it for interior.
So what kinds of things would have this off-gassing or this VOC?
Paints, furniture, carpet, cabinets, everything that's in our houses have it.
It's funny, I would think of, for some reason, fabric being more of a problem than something like a cabinet, but they can all have it.
They can all have it. Sometimes, like, you can open up a cabinet and it has, like, it smells like plastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's off-gassing.
Yeah.
And things like that. So I deal with different cabinet lines. My cabinet line that I deal with, that's a Green Guard certified. So it can go into schools, it can go to lead homes, and it's a semi-custom line, but it has custom capabilities. I can design a cabinet, and it's going to be, that no one else has.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's also, they use really low to zero VOC paints. So it's a waterborne finish versus an oil-based finish.
Okay.
So that actually does help on that. They also use wood that's certified from the Forestry Stuart Council, which is called FSC wood, in their plywood boxes.
What does that stand for?
That's the Forestry Stewardship Council.
Okay.
So they're an organization that when they cut down the trees, those trees are certified by that organization. People, they replant trees, they're taking care of their environment on that. Paints, for example, there's a great company called greendepot.com. And they're out of Washington, and they have all these wonderful products, and you can get zero VOC paints. And they're good quality, and you can put them on your wall without having to worry about wearing masks or anything like that.
Oh, wow. Wow, that makes a big difference. Because oftentimes when you're helping somebody, they're living in the house still, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of removing old stuff and putting in new stuff. Yeah.
And then also what we do is, like for those cabinets, things, we take them all down instead of putting everything in the landfill, which I think is bad. So Restore, which is Habitat for Humanity, you call them up, they come up, and they take all that, and then they sell it at their Restore.
Wow.
And that's a wonderful thing. So you're not worrying about it going into the landfill. You're not smashing things apart like they do on those HGTV shows. It drives me crazy.
So hence the sustainable or eco-friendly approach that you have.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not more expensive. People automatically assume that just because it's eco-friendly, oh my gosh, they're going to be spending a fortune. But
I would have thought that, but it's not.
It's not. And like flooring, like I use a product called Cali Bamboo, which is a bamboo, which they're green on the manufacturing side, and they're also green on how it's made and how it goes into the finished product.
Okay.
And so that thing, and also too, if you're going to do wood floors, you do, it's like taking, your organic salad, and then slathering bacon on it and eggs and blue cheese and all this stuff. Well, how healthy is that after?
Yeah.
It might taste good, but it's really not that healthy.
Yeah.
So you take a wood floor and you put an eco-friendly, like Vermont Coatings is a clear coat sealant that you put on the floor, and it's made out of like a soy base and things like that. It's a plant-based material versus the toxic, skeleton that you find. So there's a lot of different products, but I think as a designer, I educate my clients. I talk to them. And I put green in every single project that I do. And it's also when the products are taken out, I talk to the construction crew. I tell them this is what they need to do. I don't want waste everywhere. I don't want them to be buying products that are, really toxic for them. I specify what I want in that house.
Wow. So this could be, I know that I've dealt with people in the integrative functional medicine space who come in for help because they're already very chemically sensitive. They've had some kind of an exposure in their life. But this could also just be, so that would be a good application, but anybody will benefit from this, correct?
Yeah, anybody.
You don't have to be sick. The whole thing is we're preventing illness.
Exactly. And the thing is also, greenhouses, not greenwashed, have more value. And so when it's time to sell, it's not only good for the family that's there now, but when they go to sell, they know they can put all those things in there that what this house has, and that house will sell for a higher price than the toxic house.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, people don't even think of it, but when you bring that to your attention, you've got something to compare it to.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah. And so it's just it's an amazing thing. But as a designer, also, I work with my clients. Because I don't have a showroom, I'm not limited to what I sell in that showroom. I can go to any place, and I go with my customers. I go with them, and we look at them. Like tomorrow, I'm going with a client to 2 past kitchens and baths that I did to show her how people actually really function in the new design. And these are like 5 or 6 year old kitchens, and these people still love their kitchens.
Yeah.
So that to me is a testament to design.
Absolutely.
Good design.
Do you do mostly kitchens and bathrooms, or is there?
No, it's limited. I can remodel a whole house.
Okay.
On that. I don't design new construction as like houses that are over, say, 2,000 square feet or something like that. I can design the floor plans, but I would work with an architect to finish doing the working drawings.
On a whole new structure?
On a whole new structure.
Yeah. So what if somebody wants to start off small? Like say I want to put in a home office, or they have, I'm just thinking of my home. Okay. So I'm like, well, what if I wanted to have a home office? Or my problem is it's so dark in my house, and I can't pick it up and move it. Do I have to cut down trees? Like, can you help do small changes that will make a difference?
Most
Does it have to be, because it seems to me like overhaul too big and I run the other direction, right?
No, and that's the thing, again, being an independent designer.
Yeah.
I'm not tied to, we have to work on projects that are over $20,000. I mean, I've done color consultations, for somebody. So I can help them, say, for your home office. I like to actually go with you, look at your space, talk to you, what you like and you dislike about it, what you would like to have. I also find out what your budget is, which we call your financial commitment to changing it. So I work around your budget and what you want. And for like that home office, say it probably faces north, right? That's probably what it is, or it's in the basement.
Actually, I don't have a home office, but I'm using my living room for it.
Okay. All right. So then,
I think it's facing west, but I get no light in my house.
Okay.
Very little light.
What kind of trees do you have outside? Are they evergreens or are they deciduous trees like maples?
Mostly, I have everything on mine, but more evergreens everywhere, very tall.
Yes.
All around me. And also my neighbors have evergreens, so I can't do anything about their evergreens.
Yeah. So you live in the forest.
Yeah.
But what you can do on the inside, by painting your house, painting that room, say, a lighter color. Because when you have a light on, light bounces off light colors. However, if it's dark, if you have it painted like a dark gray or something like that, it's going to absorb that color. So it's going to stay there. And it's going to feel darker. So if you lighten it up with paint, that's
makes a big difference.
And then I also can design the furniture. I can design the your office space, everything in there to make it functional and organized for you.
So you'll tell people, you know, get rid of this couch, here's a better option, or just...
Yeah. I can help that with, we would call that space planning.
Okay.
On that. And also too, say your office is over in one corner, but you can just take it as it would be better in another corner and then just switch the layout around.
Yeah.
It also, they say you have a fireplace. Well, near your fireplace, a lot of us still want to have our couches and our chairs and things like that.
Yeah.
But there might be a little nook that you could have your office and have some nice bookcases and things
In
like
like
that.
a corner of the room, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've seen so many more pictures and examples. You know, you have bigger library, I guess. But just, I think it's probably just who you are and your sense of balance and,
Yeah, because I can look at a floor plan and I can see it finished. I can be walking around. I see the colors. I see, you know, where the furniture is and things like that. And a lot of people can't see that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see, like, say, in a kitchen or bath, they have a G layout. So essentially, it looks like a G.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh my gosh, you could open up a wall that's like a non-bearing wall if you wanted to, which is not expensive. And you can create an L with an island. Now you have functionality, and people socialize in the kitchen. That's the most social room in the entire house.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, when you have guests over, where are you?
Yeah.
They're not sitting in the living room while you're in the kitchen, you know? So people congregate in the kitchen. I call that the heart and soul of the home.
Yeah.
That's a place where people have a good drink, conversation, and wonderful food.
Yeah.
And that is what home is.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's essentially, I can help with anything that people want.
Have you had, do you have any stories to tell of some transformations that you've provided that have benefited people's health?
Mm-hmm. I have a friend, she's a past client. I met her on Airbnb when I did Airbnb. And she believes in sustainability and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I helped her with her kitchen and her bathroom. And we used all of those eco-friendly materials, but we also created a kitchen that had an island, and we just moved the refrigerator over to another side, so she was able to function now, and she was able to use it, because something might look wonderful, but it's not functional.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm a big fan of drawers and, you know, accessories that make a kitchen functional, for example. But it's also by opening up, putting windows where they should be on the south side. Mm-hmm. And that's why True South Designs came up into play, because True South is different than Magnetic South. And Magnetic South is at 180. Mm-hmm. But True South on the east side is more at 166. In Seattle area, it's more like at 196. It's about 14 degrees either way. And that will give you the optimum amount of sunshine throughout the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, you know, I can help people with all that too.
And that probably is relevant to your outdoor plantings and where you put things, making decisions about what plants go where.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is also too, if you have a window that's south facing, you can put your plants in your windows and they're going to be growing.
Yeah.
You know, and you can have plants, interior plants all day, all year.
Wow.
You know? So, yeah, I love what I do, and this is something that I'm going to do for till I die.
Yeah, I can tell that you're really passionate about it, and just bringing all these different subsets of who you are, you know, like your natural ability, your history, you know, growing up where you did and all that exposure, and then you're caring about the planet and people's health. One quick question before we wrap up was, you brought up Airbnb, and I know a lot of people would like to do Airbnb, so wouldn't that be a cool thing to consult if somebody wants to set up their space or part of their space,
Yeah, exactly.
you could help them, because that would be a big selling point for those people who are traveling who are chemically sensitive and can't stay at the beautiful hotel or for whatever reason.
Because I designed and built a tiny home on wheels out in Kalispell, Montana when I lived there. Right? It's still there, and I lived in it for a full year to fully understand it. And I also then rented it out on Airbnb, where I was a super host 4 times in a row. And then when I had my father's house, we actually did some Airbnb there because we needed, after he passed away in 2013, we needed the income to run the house for the operating expenses. And it was a great experience, and people love to stay in unique properties.
Yeah,
and to be
it's
able
a big thing now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because all the TV shows with tiny house and all that stuff, that it's really popular now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So say someone has a shed in their backyard, I can help them take that. You know, a lot of times it will be legal because now we have a housing crunch in our country, and instead of having single family lots everywhere, what they're doing, they're allowing, a lot of towns are allowing to have an ADU, which is accessory dwelling unit, on the property. And people can rent that out, and I can help them and show how they can get the biggest bang for the buck.
Yeah, sounds like a cool, my property would be cool for that someday. But yeah. Well, we're about out of time, and I've really enjoyed being, having my eyes open to this whole new service and support, and how accessible it is and flexible it is for people, and what a huge impact it has on one's health and function and satisfaction in general, but just, mood and mental health.
Yeah, exactly. So if you just go on to my website, thetruesouthdesigns.com, you can see everything. I blog about it. I have the before and after pictures.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Yeah. So it kind of shows what houses were like and what they can be like.
Yeah.
And people do not have to spend a fortune if they don't want to.
Yeah, or they could baby step their way there.
Yes, they can, and I can help them with that. So I can help them with, as a seller or a buyer, if they're buying or selling, and they need to upgrade their house or anything like that. I can help
so
them.
You can help triage the order that things happen in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Maria. I really appreciate your coming today. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Great experience. Thank you.